Hey guys, I just got back from the Melee Club, which I go to on Fridays, and I wanted to play Melee the past like 2 weeks for a few reasons. It sounded fun, sure, but I mostly wanted to test some of my ideas, some of my theories I'm coming up with, and just see generally where I am, just where I stand. I haven't played Melee in like 2 months, actually probably closer to a month and a half, so I got no excuses, you know. Just go there, try my hardest, and just see what I can do. And honestly, I thought I was pretty good. I thought I was playing pretty good. One of my biggest arguments is get rid of the excuses. Your gameplay will improve. And you know, I want to see if this stuff is working. I want to see if this stuff's happening. And honestly, I was playing real well. I got fourth. I got double eliminated by the first seed, which, you know, not a big of a deal. I wish I had done better in the tournament, like placing wise, but just circumstantially, you know, that's how it is. And but I beat a lot of people in a row who I think would have been close games. So they were all really close sets, but I kept knocking them down, and I was really happy with that. And the thing is, like, I don't really know where I stand up with my gameplay. I don't really know if I'm on the right track, you know, all this stuff, because the one problem is, when you learn it and then you apply it and then it works, you're like, well great. You know, I'm on the right track. 2 months later, I haven't learned anything in a while. Well, I actually have learned stuff. I haven't learned anything concrete. I haven't really been able to apply anything concrete in a while, so I don't really, know it's working. I don't know if it's working or not. So I played this Melee, and I was actually playing better than I was last time. And actually, it was a mix between better and as good. And slightly worse, maybe. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I really am on the right track. I didn't like randomly forget how to play and randomly get worse. I think a lot of my struggles in the past 2 weeks, it's mostly just my thumb and the cold weather. So I'm just gonna kind of ignore that. I actually think I'm getting mad good, and yeah, I think the tournament was a big success. I think it's a big success for me. Trying to think exactly what happened in the back. I actually lost my very first game I played too, which I think is kind of funny. I sat down in some Falco. I played Falco. Falco is very high volatile character and a high volatile matchup, and it's kind of annoying, because if you're kind of a better player than your opponent, but he plays Falco and you play Falco, you might just get bodied, and it's like, huh. So, but that's only if you really don't know what you're doing. If you really know what you're doing, you'll still win, right? That's the tricky part. And so I actually lost my first game, and then I beat him like 15 times in a row. But that's just my ego talking, because I think I'm just a better player than him. But yeah, I was feeling like way too rusty at the start, but then I eased into it. And going to losers, believe me, guys, I was very nervous. I'm very nervous. I'm a very nervous player, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I might lose. I don't want to lose, And one way I try to deal with that is literally just ignore it, completely ignore it. It sounds silly, but the reason being is because it's pretty much everything I'm talking about. Like, I don't have control over the results, and I don't have. Oh, and also, the point is to make an honest attempt. Your results will be better. And so one thing I learned recently was that, like, by default, every attempt you do is honest. So it's like, oh, I'm worried that, I might lose. I don't want to do this match. Well, throw that out the window. That's bogus, right? Just throw that out the window. Why not just play the game and then just literally play the game? Actually, it's crazy. Everything I advocate for is literally just playing the game. It's a very simple concept. It's hard to get to this point. So I would say this Melee tournament was. I would say, and I'm surprised actually, but it was a very big success, because I've been playing Mario World. I picked up Mario World as a speedrun, and my Mario World games, for the most part, have not been. I gotta go to the bathroom. My Mario World runs, for the most part, have not been very successful. I'm tilting 99% of my runs. I'm getting way too frustrated, way too often. I'm getting I'm not even playing well. I'm choking half the time. Like, I mean, these are not good runs. Like, I'm like looking at them in hindsight. I've done some good stuff, admittedly, but I'm looking at it in hindsight. I'm like, this is terrible, and like, it's definitely it's been like a confidence blow. But I don't know how good I am in Mario World because it's like I've only been playing it for 5 or 6 weeks. I don't know how I stack up. I don't know how the competition is. I don't know how long it takes to get a one. I mean, Link to the Past, when I started playing Link to the Past, it took about 3 months. If you play every day to get a 130, a 129. That was just a fact. I think, over the time, like, you can do it in like 1 to 3 months, or you can do it 1 to 2 months now. But in Mario World, I'm probably gonna get 129 like in 7 weeks, 7, 8 weeks at this rate, which just isn't bad. It's not that great though, and I'm like, huh. And it's not that great. I mean, whatever. I don't really care, but like, I want to see where I stack up to the competition in the gaming spectrum. Not in the Mario World spectrum. I'm garbage at Super Mario World. I'm shit at the game. I don't know the mechanics. I don't know how to do the levels. I barely practice it. Like, I'm just bad at the game. But it's like the fundamental gameplay aspects. Those are what I'm more interested in. That's what I want to know about. And Melee is the same deal, where it's like, okay, I have some X skill level of Melee, Honestly, I think I'm better at the Melee than I am at fundamental gameplay. But I want to see where do I stack up, and pound for pound, my fundamental gameplay is getting way better, and I noticed it in these Melee games. Honestly, I really think that this Melee tournament is a big victory for me. You have to wonder though, was the competition trying? That's super important. You have to wonder, are these people warmed up? There's all these considerations. It's like I can't just say, "Oh, this tournament is a big victory and I'm amazing and I'm a god." It doesn't make any sense. That's clearly stupid. But for what it's worth, and comparatively, it was a big victory. Most of my games, I did a lot of stupid stuff, but I would say I minimized the stupid stuff I did from about 80-20 to like 50-50, maybe 30-70. I mean, I was doing much less stupid stuff than I normally do. Actually, I never SD'd. Never in tournament did I SD. I think I SD'd literally once in friendlies. I don't really take friendlies that seriously. That's something I'm trying to remedy. I actually noticed I was definitely taking it more seriously today, which I'm happy about. I think that's a huge improvement. If you don't know, my theory states that taking something seriously it's an effect, it's not a cause. You don't choose to take it seriously, and then you judge if you took it seriously or not. You judge it as a good thing. Like, the goal is to take it very, very seriously, right? But it has to be an effect, and so by effect, I was taking my friendlies more seriously, which is good. I was taking them, the games much more seriously, and I never SD'd, and I was like, and I think I'm on the right track. And actually, also interesting, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said he lost a really tight match, and I'm like, dang, it happens. That's the story of Melee. Then he said, I SD'd twice, and it was game 3 last stock, and I'm like, that situation is exactly why I came up with this theories, because, and it sounds too obvious when I say it, and this is what's confusing me. I'm like, everything I'm saying is too obvious. This can't be working. It's too freaking obvious. But I mean, when my friend tells me this story, it makes me think I am on the right track, because literally my whole goal was to look at the whole match, look at the whole Melee match, instead of just looking at the point at which you lost. If you just look at the point at which you lost, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm looking at the whole Melee match, and it's like, what's the obvious thing you can fix? Don't SD. It's obvious, right? And so I actually was making preventative precautions to not SD. If I laser near the edge, it's not worth it. I just don't laser, And I thought about it a lot, and actually I think I won a game on an opponent SD, and I mean, this is a little stuff. There's a lot of situations where I'm like, I'm not gonna approach this guy. I just sit there shoot lasers. You shoot 20 lasers in a row, it fucks with them, and then they'll approach you, and it's just a free hit. Like, okay. And it's great too, because they always think you're gonna approach, because the thing is, if you don't play Melee, people don't want to play too gay, because it's lame. So what they'll do is they'll shoot like 4 or 5 lasers, because you're supposed to, play safe. You're supposed to play smart, obviously. But then they're like, all right, time to go in. Let's make it fair. Let's go in. I don't want to shoot too many lasers. That's stupid. So what I'll do is I'll shoot 4 or 5 lasers, and then they're like, okay, the opponent's probably going to go in. I'll counter go in, because that's the new mentality, right? I'm like, all right, well, now I expect him to go in, because I'm just keep shooting these lasers. He goes in, I get a free hit, you know? I think at a very, very high level what happens is the opponent now says, okay, I'm going to feint going in, and then he's going to feint going in on my end, right? But even that, it's just an extension, and it keep going further. That's stupid. I think at a very high level, both players recognize there's this war of attrition or whatever. That's not that word, but there's some magic word out there. So what they do is you make an honest approach. You actually have to. This is what you practice. You actually have to learn and practice honest approaches. And then when you're in a situation like that where they're free to just camp as much as they can, you just make the honest approach, right? And then depending on your approach, depending on if you're a better player or a worse player, you know, you win the situation, you lose the situation. Add up all the wins and the losses, and you take the game or you lose the game. You know. It's a very simple thing, but the problem with doing that is you have to be so honest with the gameplay. You have to accept the loss, right? Most players, especially at low level, they're not very accepting of a loss, you know. And so what they'll do is they want to lose on their own terms. They don't want to lose on the opponent's terms, and so they'll go in and then they'll lose purposely, and then they've lost on their own terms, right? It's to hold up their psyche. Well, that's stupid, right? I mean, you actually just straight up get better results if you make the honest approach, accept that you might lose, accept that you might win. And you can actually start beating players who are better than you, is because if they're not playing like this, and you are playing like this, you're getting a higher result spread. You're getting a better result spread in some aspects than their result spread, right? Even though they have a higher, better result spread, and generally it's more consistent, what happens is, because you're playing honest, your result spread is actually more localized, it's more targeted, and you'll win in these situations, right? This is what people call choking. This is what people call, and actually I think what people call choking is a completely different thing. But this is that point where you know, the worst player just does a tight, simple movement, and the better player completely gets bodied by the tight, simple. They go for something crazy and they mess it up and they lose. Westballs does it all the time. Westballs versus Fly Amanita, where Westballs literally SC'd Game 5 when the game was completely in his victory. That's exactly what the situation happens, right? It's because he's not very honest. He's not accepting of the loss, you know? What the smart player would do is say, okay, I'm accepting of the loss, so they don't go for that dare, because they're risking it on the chance that they win neutral again, right? Or that they can trade, right? And get the same Eshkret scenario, right? That's what the good honest player would do. Right? That's not what Westballs is. Because Westballs, his gameplay is honest, and so he'll always go for that YOLO dare. And here's the real trick. That dare is an honest aspect of gameplay. And what the highest level you should do is recognize that it's an honest aspect. And then when you go into that dare, just make sure the dare is as clean as possible, right? And then, but that's still not as good as playing smart. You know, playing smart is also an idea. And guys, that's my thoughts in this tournament. Some of that gameplay I definitely saw it in the tournament. Wasn't perfect. There's definitely a lot I need to work on. I might even practice melee a little bit. But anyway, very interesting. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.